Today's enemies are much worse than the kuffar of Quraysh. Now, we were discussing the story of Sayyidina Zainab Razila anha. She was the daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Her husband Abu al-As was fighting in the Battle of Badr against the Muslims. He was captured, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam decided to release him under one condition, and the condition was that when you go back to Makkah, then you have to release Sayyidina Zainab. So Abu al-As lived up to his word, and when he went back to Makkah, he decided to start the preparations of sending Sayyidina Zainab Razila anhu to Al-Madinah. Started preparing to go back. When she was ready, her husband's brother Kinana ibn Rabia brought a camel, which she mounted, and he, taking his bow and quiver, led her away. She was riding in a hoji, and it was daytime. Now, during the daytime, some of the Quraysh men discussed this and followed after her, catching up with her at Dota'a. The first to reach her was Habbar ibn Aswad ibn Mutalib. Now, what this person did was he scared her with his spear as she was there in the hod. And because, as they claim, she was expecting a baby, she was in the family way, she was expecting a baby, she suffered a miscarriage because of this. Her brother-in-law then knelt down, took his arrows from his quiver, and said, "By Allah, if any man comes near me, I'll put an arrow right into him." So these men drew away from him, and then Abu Sufyan arrived at the scene with some other Qurayshi leaders. And he said, "Put down your arrows so we can talk with you." He did so. Abu Sufyan drew near him and said, "You have not done well." And he said, "You came forth with a woman, openly going over people's heads, even though you are aware of the injury and damage done to us by Rasulullah. Saying that you're humiliating us, that in broad daylight you're taking the daughter of Rasulullah. Now people will think that we are incapable and we are weak." And like we've seen, the Arab culture is a very tribal culture. Everything is fed off your power and your tribal power. Now, if this is happening, people will say Quraysh is losing its prestige. Abu Sufyan gives a bit of context. He said, "We are not opposed to keeping Zainab Razilatala anha away from her father. And we are not after revenge." Now, there is some honor in the people of Quraysh. Because, in modern warfare, if you have somebody fighting, the people do such bad things, they go after their families also. But the Quraysh said, "We are not going to go after Zainab Razilatala anha, but take her secretly. Don't take her out in the open." So they chose you, that these kuffar of Quraysh, they respected women, unlike the enemies of Allah today who violate the rights of Muslim women and Muslim children. So anyway, Zainab Razilatala anha reached safely to Medina. Now, more in the war in Gaza, you see, they don't disregard women, sisters, children. They don't distinguish anything. So today's enemies are much